November is all about gratitude and good books. So join me today as I give you 5 good books that you should add to your TBR. The first book in the series of All Souls trilogy, and I'm inserting a picture somewhere up here, down there, somewhere. But the All Souls trilogy, Adao, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, definitely should be on your November TBR. I look at BookTube, I look at Bookstagram, I look at Book Talk, and I see all these new, well, not new, old books coming up, but I don't see Adao. I don't see All Souls trilogy. So if you have not read A Discovery of Witches, definitely add it to your November TBR. One, you're gonna be thankful. Number one reason that this is a great add to your TBR, and you'll be thankful for adding it, is you're going to get a plethora of genres and a plethora of tropes all in one book. And the book is so well written. I don't even know if this is my ADHD or not, but the book is so well written that I probably read 8 probably 10 times. At one point, I joined the Facebook group and was talking to a made up character like she was a real person, because that's how much I truly believed in the writing by Deborah Harkness. And that's saying a lot, because I know for a fact I can tell you books that I've read. I can tell you books that I've read over the years, but I can tell you in detail about A Discovery of Witches. A Discovery of Witches is like grown-up Harry Potter and grown-up Twilight put together. So if you like Twilight, you like Harry Potter, and you're an adult now, read A Discovery of Witches. The second book is, of course, Shadow of Night, which is number 2. I think you should totally add this to your TBR for November, because it's the same. It beautifully written. It is, at this point, it's historical fiction. It's just historical urban fantasy fiction, and I absolutely love it. I think it's worth everybody's coin and investment, because I know it's not on Kindle Unlimited, and I know that's one of the reasons that people don't read it, is because you literally have to go pay arm and a leg, which I feel like that arm and a leg is definitely worth it. Let me just give you an example. I have these 2 books, well, all 3. I have all 3 books on my Kindle, so they're ebooks, and I also have the physical hard copies because they're worth it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain the love that I have for the series, but I definitely think you should definitely check it out. The third book is Book of Life, and it kind of ties up all of the loose ends that you've read, and it does it so beautifully. Diana and Matthew, Matthew, that's how I say it when I read it, Matthew, definitely come together, and it's just a beautiful ending. And it starts off as basically my parents giving me a load of shit and fucking me over. I'm pretty sure YouTube is gonna flag that, but hopefully I can bleep it out. But a load of and messing me over, a load of BS and messing me over, and in us basically overcoming all of the obstacles to have our happy ending. Yet you could add another story or 2 or 3 after this, because you basically now have some more stories to finish. And you can tell, because it's probably, I think Adao came out in like 2017, 2016, somewhere around that. I don't know the exact date. And it's 2024, and she just released the 5th book in the series. The 4th book is a standalone. You can read it by yourself. I suggest reading all the original 3 so you can understand that 4th book. I didn't want to, because I didn't want to read the story of 2 other people. Didn't care enough. But the 5th book continues on Diana's story and her family, because her family, they left some baggage, okay? So definitely check that out. It is worth it. It is worth every penny. If you do not, want to spend the coins on it first, please go check it out at the library. It's at the library. It's at the library because it's such a beautifully well written novel or series that I don't see why a library wouldn't have it. And if they don't have it, then you can do the interlibrary loan thing. It is worth it. I Deborah Harkness, I think she went through a cancer scare, and that's why it was such a big break between book 5 coming out. Not a scare. She actually had cancer, so she's in remission now. And shout out to her because I, as a person that has illness, those stories live on in your head while you're getting treatment, and you just have to get it out your head. So shout out to her to coming out with a bang. I can't read the what is it, the recently released book, but yeah, all praise Deborah Harkness. So here is the series in total. Definitely check it out. Again, I do not recommend book 4. It's a standalone. You can read it by itself. But I am going to read book 5 eventually. I plan on adding it to my December TBR. I just haven't. My TBR is very long. My personal TBR is very long. I'm not going to tell you to add something to your TBR without actually reading it first. So so the next two up that I think you should add to your November TBR is The Blood Queen and The Broken Queen by Caitlin Denman. This is a series again, underhyped author. She's I think she's self-published, indie author. And the first time I read Blood Queen was via an ARC through Book Siren, and I'm glad I picked it up. Let's just say that. I am glad that I picked it up. That book was chef kiss. So beautifully written. So again, and I'm gonna say beautifully written. I think Caitlin Denman is a great author. I think, like I said, she's underhyped. I don't think a lot of people are talking about her series enough. But if you get the time, definitely check out her series. It is worth a read. It's about a a queen, basically. Her parents died. She left orphan, and Layla is more than, she is guided. How about that? She's mentored and guided, and she's out there here doing vigilante things, thinking she's saving her kingdom, and in reality, she's not. She's being sabotaged, and at the same time, she has like an arranged marriage going. Well, it's not an arranged marriage, but it's like, the her mentor is basically telling her that she needs to get married to this guy to broker peace. And throughout this discovery, she discovers more about herself. And she discovers that her mentor is a piece of, and and he's basically bamboozled her and her people. And so it has action. It's got fantasy in it. It has romance in it. It's historical in my head because it's based into like the old times, not necessarily now. It's not now in the present. There's no cell phones. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you think of the Crescent City series, you can definitely tell that it is a metroplex like New York. And with here, I get vibes of like London, 1800s. So definitely check that series. I'm reading Broken Queen now, and I'm only 3 chapters in, so I can't really give you the synopsis about it. But her love interest, yeah, I'm very excited because I'm just like, the stuff that he is saying to her right now. I'm like, hey, day one, way to stick it out beside her. So, yeah, if you get a chance, definitely check out Caitlin Denman, and I'm putting the images on the screen. Caitlin Denman and Caitlin Denman's Broken Queen and Blood Queen. Blood Queen being the first in the series, and Broken Queen being the second in the series. Broken Queen will be coming out, I believe, this month. And so I definitely think you should spend your coin on that as well. It is, I'm telling y'all, it is worth every penny. It is a good read. She is not known. She's an indie author. And Caitlin just did a good job. She did a great job. And it makes me so happy that I had the pleasure of actually reading the books before others did. And you're going to ask me, like, how do I know you know what you're talking about? I wrote a book. I wrote a book. I wrote a book. It's called A Sea of Ruin. I'll place a link down below in the description. But I'm not happy with that book. Actually, the book is very good, but I rushed the process. And lesson learned. Now, book 2, I'm going to take my sweet time. But yes, I think you guys should definitely check out all 5 of those books. A Discovery of Witches. Second up, Shadow of Night. Third, Book of Life. Fourth, a fourth being the Blood Queen. Fifth, Broken Queen. Those are the 5 books that I think that you should add to your November TBR. You will not be disappointed. You will enjoy all of those thoroughly, and you will be like begging for more. You'll be asking, what else should I add? What else should I add? I feel like if you don't like fantasy, all of those books are good intros to fantasy. I'm a fantasy girl, so, but all 5 of those books are good intros in my opinion. They're not too heavy on the fantasy. Like, these are all, if you just take out some of the magic, and you could take out the magic in Blood Queen and Broken Queen, and it still be a great story. Not so much in the Alsos trilogy, but I guess you could wrote it to, it could have been written to where your parents screwed you over, and now she has to figure out all these secrets, and instead of having power, you have money. So yeah, but I don't know how that will fare well with the love interest. But anyways, check out those books. You won't be disappointed. I promise you. If you have read any of these books that I've mentioned, please tell me why you like them in the comment, and use the secret emoji, blue hearts, blue hearts. We're going to do blue hearts, and let me know you watched this video all the way through. If you haven't read it and you feel like you're not going to read it because you don't want to spend money, I promise you the library is not scary.